Aston Villa, West Ham and Burnley are all in the 23-24 Premier League season at the same time. All claret and blue clubs, and they've all finally released their home kits. And shockingly, no one's worried about Scunthorpe's new kit, but shockingly, there have been reports that they all look far too similar. West Ham have an Aston Villa kit, Aston Villa have a Burnley kit, and Burnley have a West Ham kit. Nearly 30,000 likes of agreement. Now, there are hundreds of stripy teams, blue teams, red teams, and no one's accusing them of looking like each other. So why are people accusing Burnley, West Ham and Aston Villa of looking like each other? Now, what might be causing this odd phenomenon is Burnley's new sponsor is the same sponsor as Aston Villa had in 2019. Aston Villa now have this horrible BK8 sponsor, which funnily enough is actually the current training kit sponsor for Burnley. In addition to this, Aston Villa's new kit looks like shit, which is usually a feeling I reserve for Burnley kits. But this time, Burnley's kit is actually quite smart, which is often a feeling I associate with a West Ham kit. And West Ham's kit has bubbles on it, which is just terribly appalling, which is usually a feeling I would get when I look at a Burnley kit. This is all very odd, so I have tasked myself with the challenge of creating 3 new kits for each of these clubs without each of them looking like each other, yet still having the feeling like they represent that particular club. But I can't change the sponsor. The sponsors have to stay the same. I can only work with the rest of the kit. Aston Villa. Aston Villa have had only 2 nice home kits in the past 11 seasons since they left Nike. Look at the downgrade between 2011 and 2012-13. That is sickening, villainous almost. Now, where I feel like we can differentiate with Aston Villa is by switching to the purple they had for the home kit for a 2-year period, I believe, in the Championship, which are, for me, as someone who just likes kits and doesn't particularly like Villa, these are by far their best kits since they left Nike. These two are surprisingly Under Armour kits, which are classy, which don't invoke any images of Burnley or West Ham, and sort of invoke an image of like a classy big club, which is what most people would refer to Villa as. For a bit of individuality and because I just think checkered patterns are cool, and I think these are some of the best Aston Villa kits, I wanted to reintroduce the checkered pattern to Aston Villa, and I think it's a theme that they shouldn't have every season, but I think it should be a regular one. Every couple of seasons or so, they introduce a bit of a checkered pattern. I think that would be good for Villa. This is my Aston Villa kit for 23-24. Forgive my unperfect Photoshop here, but first off, get rid of the blue all the way up to the neck. That feels way too Burnley for me. I added the checkered line and a blue collar to finish it off, but then I also removed the horrible, disgusting yellow in the sponsor, which shouldn't be a problem considering they don't enforce it on the away kit. This looks much more like Aston Villa in my opinion, and looks either marginally less crap or maybe a lot better, depending on if your eyes are correct or wrong. Mine are correct. Bosh, gorgeous mate. Sell that one, Castor. West Ham! West Ham's kit doesn't look like Burnley or Aston Villa. It just looks a bit shit. So I've removed the bubbles because that's mentally childish. And then you're just left with quite a basic kit. But it makes it look more like an Aston Villa kit. But in my opinion, what Umbro have missed out of this West Ham kit is any sort of like white or maybe gold trim. Usually there's a bit more white in a West Ham home kit. But for me, the lack of gold trim on this one is mental. They've won their first European trophy and their first major trophy in God knows how long, and they've just not put gold on it. Arsenal have gold on their kit and they won fuck all. What are you doing, Umbro? This for me would be my West Ham 23-24 season kit. This is my brief mock-up. Now, I added the white on the sleeves. I didn't really know where to put the white. I added in the gold on the sponsor and the badges, which is allowed because previously, not too long ago, they had an away kit with a gold sponsor. So Betway are fine with that. And then I was like, I need to fit white in here somewhere. So I sort of half and half the sleeves. I'm not too sure how I feel about that because without the white, it looks pretty fantastic. So I think this might be the one to go for. Compared to what the actual home kit is, Just get rid of the bubbles. Honestly, bubbles, bit of gold, boom, looks like a West Ham kit. Job done. Burnley. This is a rare classy number from Burnley, which for me inherently makes it not very Burnley. To me, Burnley are terrible Puma kits and an Asian betting sponsor. But since being relegated, they had a renaissance. They shed the Sean Dyche brutality image along with that image of football and style of play, and they got an exciting new up-and-coming Vincent Company with exciting new up-and-coming talents, with exciting new football, which paired with an exciting new kit with a cool sponsor. They've been promoted and they've shed that. They've got back a betting sponsor just before they get phased out to get that last dollar bill, y'all. And then they've just gone for, albeit a classic kit, but for me, not a particularly inventive kit. And I feel to match Burnley's new exciting era, I feel like they need an equally as exciting kit. I don't think they should hark back to a clean retro kit just yet. It should continue to be exciting for at least 2 more seasons. But I wanted to be realistic with this Burnley kit, and they're probably getting an Umbro template. So I've scoured all the Umbro templates for this season for other teams they've given to. So this is what I've given to a new look 2023-24 season Burnley. Oh, here it is. Bear with me here. I know this looks absolutely appalling. So after all that spiel about doing something new for Burnley, I tried to turn this Umbro Boston United away kit into Burnley colours, and it turns out I absolutely hate it. So I started from scratch and just made the most Burnley kit I could possibly imagine. And voila, look at that. That is peak Burnley. Oh, good old Burners, is it? Yeah, that's it. I altered the new Ipswich Town kit to make this one, and I added the new badge. But let's be honest, it looks way more like Burnley with the old badge. And they're still going to use the old badge anyway for some reason, so it feels a bit pointless, this, isn't it? All in a day's work. You're welcome, Burners. Let me know if you think I've solved this conundrum, or if I've done a terrible job and one of these kits look like one of the other clubs. I've been your boy Kieran. Don't forget to subscribe. We're nearly at 20,000 supporters, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.